No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills, in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out, even if...
you don't let everyone into your home.
Around 40 people live here. Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And while the men do the physical labour, the women take care of the children who live here full time. It could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
You might be wondering how any of this can be legal. Return to the Land is structured as a private members association, which they believe allows them to discriminate on the basis of ethnicity, along with other factors. That has yet to be tested in the courts.
A whites-only community could be coming to Missouri in 2025, and yes, you are hearing me correctly. An actual group called Return to the Land is trying to build a segregated whites-only town near Springfield, Missouri. And this isn't parody, and this is not satire. This is happening in America right now. The founder says that they want to return to their roots. But come on, guys, let's be real. This isn't about heritage. This is about hate. This is about building a safe space for white supremacy under the guise of community. And what's even more disturbing, these people feel so fucking emboldened these days that they're not even hiding it anymore. They're openly promoting racial segregation like it's normal, like this country didn't literally fight an actual civil war to end this bullshit. This is what happens when politicians feed the lie that diversity is the problem. This is what happens when you have people in power pushing the idea that America was better when it was whiter. They want to isolate. They want to indoctrinate. They want to raise their kids in a world where no one challenges their racism, their ignorance, or their twisted version of history. So here's the question. How in the hell are we letting this happen in broad daylight? Where are the zoning boards? Where are the civil rights investigations? And where is the national outrage?
Hello, and what's up, good people? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. Now, welcome back for another video. Now, it seems that under this Donald Trump regime, then white supremacy and white extremists have gotten the most conducive environment from which they can show the world who they really are, what they really wish for, and their deep lying fears. Judging from what they have been doing in the recent few days or few months of Trump's regime. Now, we're talking about, in the last video, we were talking about the sprouting of the new white-only settlements in some parts in America, in Missouri, in Arkansas, and with the plans, to spread them across different other states in America. And ironically, what Black America is saying about it is that they are ready for it. They have been waiting for this more than ever because they want to teach America, or rather, they want to teach the white supremacists that they are the bloodline on which that country really runs on. So if you want to exclude yourself from the building blocks and the building energy of that country, then please be our guest. However, now we are realizing that we have noted that other white people are also coming out to call out each other about the same and saying it is impossible because you cannot separate America from Black America. There is literally no America as we know today without the effort and, without Black Americans. Now, I want us to really sample what white people are saying about white people coming up with white-only settlements. And at the end of this video, we're going to have a little more discussion on the same. So I'll see you at the end of this.
So they're trying to break ground on a whites-only community in Springfield, Missouri, as early as this year. Not literally in Springfield, Missouri, but adjacent. And they hope that they can build one of these cities in every state in the Union. It's called the Return to the Land Initiative. And my brain keeps breaking every time I say return to the land out loud, because there's nothing about white people that screams return to the land. White people can barely go camping without crying. I'm trying to understand the whole return to the land sentiment there, because it sounds eerily similar to return the land or land back for indigenous people. And after that Jubilee episode recently with that one white guy saying that white people are Native Americans, and he truly believed it and people clapped for him, I'd like to see them build this white city. But I would like them to not use any inventions made by any person of color or any immigrant. Like literally everything. Even down to the types of pets that they're allowed to have, actually. Because we don't want any immigrant pets. They have to be from America only. It's just bothersome to me, as a person who is white, to see other white people be so fucking stupid. And the fact that they think that they can actually put one in every state. It's mind-boggling to me. At this point, I'm just starting to feel like any person who is not cis, straight, heterosexual, white, or male, it can't be all of those categories. I think we should just leave. Everyone just fucking pick up, give up, and leave. And let them see how horrible it actually would be.
We have some news right now. Heads up, if you live in Missouri, a whites-only group called Return to the Land is trying to expand and build a whites-only community in Missouri. Right now, its base is in northern Arkansas, but soon it's going to try to expand to an area near Springfield, Missouri, according to The Hill. In their community, members are evaluated based on European ancestry. You have to be white. Jews are not allowed in the community as well. They currently have about 160 acres of land in northern Arkansas, and now they want to expand just outside of Springfield, Missouri, and soon to all 50 states in the United States. The co-founder of the group said, quote, "We want to ensure that white Americans who value their ancestry will have the ability to live among like-minded people in the future if they choose to do so, regardless of demographic changes. This is real, and it's happening right now in the United States of America, and not enough people are talking about it, so I will. Spread the word so more people know, especially folks living near Springfield, Missouri."
To the white people that are like, oh my God, this is crazy. To that whites only town in Arkansas or Missouri, whatever backwoods fucking town or state it's happening in. You do realize right now in 2025, that's what the Trump administration, MAGA, a whole fuckload of white people are operating on. They want this a whites-only country. You're just surprised because these motherfuckers in that town are just saying it out loud in a way you can't turn your face away from. But Trump and his administration in America as a whole for centuries has been saying the same shit. I'll continue to say this. We are in the middle of a reckoning for white people, all of us. And I fucking hate Trump. If you followed me over the years, you know I fucking despise that man. Been talking about it for years. Been talking about white supremacy nonstop for almost 5 years. But I cannot separate myself from that as a white man in this country. But there's no surprises here. None. When you have a government that is sending out ICE to kidnap immigrant men, women, and children, put them in American concentration camps, when you have a police force that frequently murders black men, women, and children, when you have a government that continues to fucking destroy indigenous communities, when you have a government that pays for the genocide of the Palestinian people, when you have a government that has a white supremacist hand in Congo and Sudan and Haiti and all these other places across the world that causes death and destruction, when you have a government that is making their sole focus to destroy anything that involves diversity, equity, and inclusion, deleting black, indigenous people of color from historical archives, talking about how black history is divisive. Like the list goes on. When you have a government that runs off this idea that there's a white genocide, or that the white population is at risk of being destroyed, like this, they are trying so hard to make this a whites only America. But the thing is, white people won't believe that unless another white person is like, hey, we're making a whites only community. Then it's like, oh my God, this is bad. No, Black, Indigenous, people of color have been telling America this for literally hundreds of years. There are Black creators, Indigenous creators, creators from other communities outside of whiteness every fucking day that are on this app telling the truth. But you won't believe that it's racism or white supremacy unless a white person purposefully tells you, hey, we're going to be super fucking racist and build a white supremacist town. Then you're like, oh, that's okay. It is real. Listen to Black, Indigenous people of color. They tell you the truth. They know us better than we know ourselves.
They're putting up whites only signs in Missouri. Like, that's some real shit that's apparently happening right now. All of you fuckfaces that denied Project 2025 would ever happen, all of you can absolutely go fuck yourselves. Go play in traffic. Like, for real. This is insane. To everybody in Missouri that has, like, a level-headed brain, like, seriously, if you see one of those businesses that has, like, a whites-only sign and you're a white person that really thinks all of this is fucked up, I want you to go in that store and just act like a bull in a fucking china shop. Fuck it, man. If we do it everywhere, they'll stop doing it. Seriously. Fucking destroy the place. Fuck all of them. If the owners try to stop you, assault them. Fuck them too. I live in New York. They won't try that shit here. We will fucking burn those places to the fucking ground.
You guys, this is so wild and disturbing. There is a whites-only community being built in the Ozarks. I'm really disturbed. This seems like a reintroduction to segregation. So this community is located on 160 acres of land. It is called Return to the Land. There's about 40 people living on it right now. This includes people of law enforcement and federal agents. Nobody except for whites are allowed on this community compound. You also can't be gay or Jewish. And it is run by this guy right here, Eric Orwell. It's cut off at the top, but he is quoted as saying, "You want a white nation? Create a white town." It can be done, and we're doing it. It says over the last year and a half that they have been building this, what I'm going to call a compound. This movement started organizing online. In an interview with Sky News, this information was found out. I feel like I can't say that, but there were those in references on a public chat in Telegram. There was also 14 words, including and referring to this. And he seems to even go on and support Hitler. This is their symbol. Eric insists that what they're doing is entirely legal. He says it's a private club, so it's exempt from equality legislation. And just so you know, there are plans to expand this in other areas. I thought I'd leave you guys with just a little more information that you're probably going to want to pause and read from Eric Orwell.
They're building a fortress for the white race in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas. It's called Return to the Land, probably because their neighbor already took the name KKK. Their rules, no gays, no Jews, no non-whites. See, they needed to be able to control who their neighbors were. And apparently the town where they've settled, Ravenden, was just too diverse at 94% white. So they needed to build their own white town. As if the Ozarks themselves aren't white enough for these people. Most of y'all probably haven't been there. I've been there a lot. It's a very white place. Their idea of diversity is a Chinese restaurant that serves shitty dim sum and a Taekwondo studio that's in the back of someone's house. Apparently they have to have their own white town because if you don't have rules against it, anyone of any race could be your neighbor. These people aren't even from the Ozarks. They've migrated there, which is actually my favorite part of this. They have no clue what actual subsistence farming looks like. They're cosplaying trad lifestyle, traipsing around in flowy dresses, watching their husbands work with state-of-the-art equipment while they pretend to be pioneers. In reality, all they're doing is running away from people who have different ideas than them.
Segregation is back in the United States because now white-only and straight-only towns are popping up across the country, and the government is allowing it. In Arkansas, there was a town that was started by about 50 millennials with their children that they call Return to the Land, which is fucking wild. Not a single thought was put into this name, because if they were really returning to the land, they'd be going back to Europe. But that's not the only crazy thing. They're claiming that they're doing this for their children because they want them to be raised with white, straight Christian values. What the fuck is that? Not only that, like, it gets better. You don't think it can, but it can. They were interviewed and asked why they don't let other groups in. And they said explicitly, it's not because we hate other people. It's because we love each other so much. What the fuck? These people are fucking insane. And not only that, they have so many supporters across the country. So many. They set up a GoFundMe, and anytime there is a new kid born in this settlement, they get thousands of dollars from this GoFundMe. If you haven't seen this yet, you need to look it up because this is wild.
Did you hear about the whites-only communities being built in Missouri? Where are we heading, America? Now we're building white-only communities? What's going on? This ain't how America used to be, bro. How are we that divided that we're gonna just white-only communities? That's what we doing? I can't understand it. I mean, to be fair, I have seen places where it was black-only communities. But why? Why are we doing this? We're dividing. We need to be coming together as America, the strongest country. What's going on with these people? Why? White-only community, right? What is that going to prove? What is that going to show? What are we trying to do? Have a war with each other? That's what it's going to come to. Stop.
No black, no gay, and no Jewish people. That is the rule in this white-only town being built in Arkansas. Nope, this isn't 1950. It's happening right now in 2025 in the Ozarks. A group called Return to the Land has built what they proudly call a whites-only community on 160 acres in the Ozarks. They've got cabins, roads, fences, wells, community center, and even a private schoolhouse, all for people who pass their strict racial and cultural tests. To live there, you must be white with European ancestry, straight, Christian, and you cannot be black, Jewish, LGBTQ, or follow a non-European religion. They vet applicants with video interviews, and some are even asked to prove their ancestry. The founders, Eric Orwell and Peter Sears, say that they want to create a, quote, fortress for the white race. In their own words, you want a white nation, build a white town. Now, here's the thing. They're calling it a private membership association to dodge federal housing laws. Basically, they sell membership shares through a company called Wisdom Woods LLC. And rather than traditional deeds, which they claim makes them exempt from anti-discrimination laws like the Fair Housing Act. And shockingly, well, maybe not, there's already 40 people living on the site and hundreds more worldwide are applying. They say they have things like goat herding, homeschool programs, flute recitals, and even a white baby bounty, basically rewarding white females for having more children. And I saw one of their interviews, and even their dog is white. And get this, they're not stopping in Arkansas. They've already announced plans to expand into Missouri near Springfield. Now, civil rights groups like the NAACP and Anti-Defamation League and state officials are calling it what it is, a modern-day experiment in segregation, racism, and legal loopholes. Arkansas's Attorney General is investigating, but as of right now, this community is still operating, still growing, and still recruiting. This isn't just a hate group in the woods, you guys. It's a test case to see if they can build a future where civil rights laws don't apply, as long as they call it private.
All right, so you've heard what their fellow white people are saying about it, and they are actually not happy that this is going to happen. But you know, everything has a reason to why it happens. And there are deep-rooted fears that actually are pushing these white extremists to go to these, to go to these instances. And it is only that now under Donald Trump, they're getting a good environment from which they can grow. And it really says what they themselves have been, the kind of life they have been living through in previous regimes. Maybe they have not gotten a great chance like this one from which their dreams can come true. So I want us to talk about the fears, the deep lying fears that nobody really wants to talk about, or that they're not willing to face as white people, that are rather, triggering them to take these steps right now. And one is the fear of becoming a minority. And white people have always been a minority, but they have never accepted that they have never been a majority at any point. And people of color and colored people have always been the majority worldwide. It's only that, the focus is not there. There is no point in proving it. Now, many white supremacists harbor a deep fear of white replacement, So a conspiracy theory known as the Great Replacement Theory, and it falsely claims that white people are being systematically replaced by immigrants and people of color. This fear is driving them to isolate and protect themselves demographically. They believe that other people, and especially black people and people of color, have systematically planned to eliminate them, which nobody really is thinking about eliminating white people. But they really, really dream and believe that that is happening. And then another one is the desire for, a racial purity. And you know why this is happening? So by building racially exclusive enclaves like that one, or these ones that we're seeing now in Missouri, they are trying to recreate a white ethno-states. These are visions deeply rooted in the Nazi and apartheid, apartheid ideologies. You know that this is not only an American phenomenon. You know that here in Africa, in South Africa, we have a white-only community called Orania. Yeah. So it is an attempt to preserve what they really believe as pure culture or pure race. White supremacy in itself has been anchored on, on a false illusion of superiority. And so when this false myth has been taught down generations, then generations have come up believing they are really, superior, and other people are inferior, and so they don't want to mix with the so-called inferior people because they want to preserve their superiority. Now, we're also talking about the psychological projection and inferiority, or a psychological projection of inferiority masked under superiority. So, ironically, their obsession of superiority often reflects as a deep-seated inferiority complex. When people are truly confident in their identity and value, they don't need to isolate or control others. Their aggressive need to dominate space and narrative can be seen as a compensation for a perceived loss of influence, or to just show their inferiority, And then we have distrust of government and integration, and this is where the DEIs and the HBCUs come in. So these communities often emerge from a rejection of federal laws, rejection of DIEs, rejection of, diversity policies or social integration. They feel threatened by multiculturalism, equity programs, or the rise of Black political power. In a term known as white rage. The proponent being Dr. Carol Anderson. White rage is when white people get agitated when Black people rise in power or are doing anything to benefit themselves, and then they get mad at it. Yeah. So, and then the last point, and an important one, is the rise in white supremacy extremism. Now, this highlights a broader national issue in the United States currently. So the mainstreaming of white supremacist views. So far-right movements have become emboldened, especially after Trump took office, where racial and nationalist rhetoric become more public and less shameful in some circles, or in many circles currently. However, we still go back to the drawing board, and if they decide segregation is the way to go, then at the end of the day, we know who loses the most, because there is no America as it is today without people of color. There is no America today without the the role Black people have played in making America what it is today. They are literally and basically the lifeline of that country. They cannot be excluded from it. And try to do that. They are the largest workforce. They are the biggest consumer market. So how do you even think about excluding that from it? That is why I really observed this, and I came to a conclusion that it's not about preserving culture. And because people are even asking, what is white American culture? You guys are just rejects from Europe. So what is this white American culture? It is actually an expression of deep-rooted fear and a projection of an inferiority complex. That is what we had for you today in this video. I hope you learned something from it. And let's engage in the comment section. You can tell me what you think about this. Leave me a comment. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and your family. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, then I'd kindly definitely ask you to hit the subscribe button to be part of us. Until next time, see you in the next video. Peace out.